Hi besties, welcome back to another one of my videos. I have been meaning to post this video and make this list. I've been procrastinating, but here are my 25 books for 2025. I picked about 10-ish or so new releases for the year, and then the rest are books I already own or books that are already out for the rest of the 25 off that TBR. So I think my first plan of action is to go through the books that are the new releases for the year, and then I'll go through the physical TBR books that I want to get through for this year. First new release for the year that I want to talk about is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This is Ali Hazelwood's first sports romance. It's a swimmer romance. It comes out February 4th. I am so excited about this. If you're not new here, you know, like, Ali Hazelwood is one of my favorite authors, so anytime she releases anything, first day, I'm there, I'm getting it, I'm reading it. So super excited about this one. Moving on to the next one, I have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This one, I just recently started reading Abby Jimenez last year and I fell in love. Yours Truly is one of my all-time favorites. I have a special edition of it and everything. So this one I'm super excited for. I don't know much about it. I don't know if there's much about it out yet. This one comes out later this year, but definitely plan on reading it. Some of the new releases I won't be able to go into much description and detail about because some of them there isn't a lot of description or detail out about now, or I personally haven't done like the research, but these are ones that I know I'm going to read because they're authors that I just love. Next up, I have Enchantra, I think it's called. It's the second book to Phantasma. It's about the sister, which I'm super excited about. The first book I rated 5 stars. I absolutely loved that book. It's a fantasy romance, kind of darker, more gothic romance. Next up, I have Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This is the final and third book of the Powerless trilogy. I loved Powerless. I rated it 5 stars, and Reckless, I think, is book 2. I rated that one 4 stars, I think. I didn't love it as much, but I didn't hate it. I've actually really been enjoying this series, so it comes out in April. Next, I have Love Rearranged. This is book 3 of this series of Love Redesigned, Love Unwritten. They have Love Arranged coming out this year. This one, they're just contemporary romances, and I don't remember which couple is the next book. I probably should look that up. But they're just like thicker contemporary romance stories. I just love Lauren Asher's writing, so the next one, which I cannot stop talking about, and it comes out in 4 days, is Onyx Storm. This is book 3 of Fourth Wing series. I can't remember how many books it's going to be, but I cannot wait to have this book in my hands. I pre-ordered it. I'm hoping it comes in on time, but I was going to go to a midnight release party, but then decided I can't. I have to work the next day, but I will be downloading it at midnight and reading it and trying my best to stay up and trying to get it read. I'm so excited about that one. Next up, I have 2 Anna Huangs on my list. I have The Defender and I have King of Envy. The King of Envy is just, you know, the next book of the King of Sin series, which is this series, which is like King of Sloth, King of Greed, King of Wrath, King of Pride. I've really enjoyed these so far. They're nothing crazy special, that enjoying them. And then The Defender is the next book of her sports romance series she's been writing. The first one was The Striker, which had a lot of mixed reviews, but I personally enjoyed it. I think I was just along for the vibes, along for the ride. Didn't think too much into it, and I enjoyed it. So The Defender, which I'm super excited about, is about the brother of the female main character in the first book, which I really enjoyed the bits and pieces we got of him and the crumbs we got of him, so I'm really excited for this one. And that was my last new release. Those were my 8 new releases that are going on my 25 books for 2025. This probably last year I'll do like 25 for the year that it's on. Like I probably won't do 26 for 2026. I'll probably just go back to like 20 or something. But going into the books I already own that I want to read this year. First up, and this will not be a surprise, I think, to anyone, Hunting Alittle. This is book 2 of this duology. I have been putting this book off for so long. I don't know why. It's really big, which could easily be why, but I'm just so intimidated. I don't even know if I can remember where the last one left off. I might have to like watch a video, but definitely excited about this one. Next up, I have Spectacular, which is the little novella from Stephanie Garber. This was like a little novella off of Caravel. I meant to read it during wintertime last year, like in December, but I didn't get a chance to it, so I'm trying to really knock it out this year. And if I can't knock it out right now, then to knock it out come December. But Spectacular, it's just a short little small novella. Next up, I have A Court of Mist and Fury. I read ACOTAR in December. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but people say the first one's not the good one. So I'm going to be continuing this year. I'm throwing this on my 25 for 2025 because I don't want to not go back to it. I already own the second book. I want to keep going, read the second book, see my thoughts and feelings, and go from there. So I'm adding Asimov onto my 25 books for 2025. Next up is Heartless Hunter. This is a YA fantasy romance. It really blew up end of last year, and the second book comes out in February, so I really need to read it very soon so I can read the second book when it comes out. But this one's like about a witch and a witch hunter, I think. It's enemies to lovers, all those good tropes. I'm really excited about this one. I've heard like nothing but great things about it. I don't think I've heard anything bad about it, so it'll be good. Next, I have Daisy Hates. I read Magnolia Parks a long time ago. I still remember everything about that book. It was a 5-star book for me. I know I'm gonna love this series. The Gossip Girl vibes, I just eat up every time. I say that like anytime a book with Gossip Girl vibes come up, I say the same thing, but I'll eat it up every single time. So this is definitely high on my list for the 25 books. I want to get back into the series. I want to meet Julian. I know I've met them, but I really want to meet like Julian, Daisy, Kristen. Like I just want to know their whole dynamic and story because people love them. Next, I have Ashes. The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. This is book 2 of the duology of Serpent and the Wings of Night. I read Serpent and the Wings of Night like last year. I read Serpent and the Wings of Night and the little novella that goes in between these, like 6 Scorched Roses, in one day. And both of them were like 5 stars. I really enjoyed the writing. I really enjoyed the story. I don't know why I haven't picked this one up. A lot of these you're gonna notice are gonna be like continuations of series or, you know, second last books of series. I'm really trying to force myself this year to finish majority of the series I'm in the middle of because I love to start series. I don't love to finish them. So that's why a lot of these books are going to be parts of series because I'm trying my best this year. And if I make this goal, I make this video, I put it out there into the universe, I will do it, you know? So second book of a fantasy romance, adult romance. It's like vampire vibes. I don't know, it's really good. If you haven't read it, I would recommend reading it because I really enjoyed it. Next, I have another very popular YA fantasy, Quicksilver by Kelly Hart. I am late on this train. I don't know when the next book comes out. I don't know if this is a solo book. I don't even know. I don't know anything about this book. It's just a fantasy romance. Looks really good. I've heard nothing but good things. People are going crazy for it on social media. So I picked it up and I'm going to be reading it this year. I just got to get the intimidation factor out of the way because this girl is chunky. Next, a continuation of a series I'm in the middle of, Kiss This Guy. In the order that I'm reading this whole universe in, this is book 4. I read the first 3 books. I enjoyed them. Kiss This Guy is the next book. I'm really excited for this one. It's Rose and Connor. From the beginning, I think those have been my favorite characters and my favorite couple. So I don't know why I've been putting this one off. I think the whole series just is so long. It intimidates me. But yeah, I will be reading this one very soon. Next, I have Off to the Races. This one I have on here because last year, if any of you guys were around last year, I wanted to read Elsie Silver's entire backlist. I never got to this series. They happened to be republished last year, and I think the like 4th one didn't even come out until December or November, so it was very late, so I just put it off. This year, I want to tackle this series. I want to read this series. I've actually been seeing really good things about it, so And I need more country romance books. Next up, no surprise, Ruthless Vows. I don't know why I haven't read this book. I loved Divine Rivals. It was like my whole personality for a good week or two. This book came out and had such mixed reviews that it scared me because of how much I love Divine Rivals. So it's been put off and put off and put off and put off. I need to read it. I need to get it done with. I need to finish this series. I need to do it. I need someone to talk me into it. That's why it's going on my 25 books for 2025. I'm talking myself into it because I loved the first one so much that if this one disappoints me, I think I'll be hurt. And I think that's why I haven't picked it up. It's going on my list. I will be reading it. Like, write this down. I will be reading this if it's the last thing I do in this year. I wanted to throw like a fun book in here because I feel like a lot of these are series heavy. I have Worth Every Shot. This is it's a football romance. I was gifted it during Christmas time from one of my mutuals, and it looks absolutely so good. I've never read anything by this author, but I've like seen really good reviews about this one, so I'm excited for this one. And I throw non-series ones in here because I feel like all of these are series. Next, I have City of Scattered Light. This has been on my TBR for like 2.5 years. It's a sci-fi YA romance duology. I don't remember where I found it. I think I found it off like TikTok or recommendation or something like a long time ago, and it's been on my TBR ever since. It looks really good. It's sapphic, and I want to read it. I just have never grabbed it. I've never picked it up, and I do love sci-fi, so I'm adding it on here. If it doesn't get read this year, I'm sadly just gonna unhaul it because she's been on my shelf for too long. A very popular one next, I have One Dark Window. This is another fantasy dark gothic duology. I think there is like a subplot of romance. I've seen many people review this. Many people make videos about it. They have special editions that are stunning at Barnes & Nobles. I need to read it. I need to know what the hype is about. I want to experience it for myself. So it's going on my list. It's another book I've had for a long time. I think it's time. Next, I have The Iron King. This is a YA fantasy romance. One of my very good friends actually recommended this to me a long time ago. I haven't picked it up. I don't really read YA anymore, but YA fantasy romance sometimes hits. So I'm hoping this hits. Excited about it. I don't know anything about it. I know it's like, I don't know, 6 to 8 books, but it's YA fantasy. They usually go really fast and they're usually really good. So I'm putting this on here to read it. Last 3 books. We're getting down into it. First, I have Wings So Wicked by Emily Blackwood. This is an author that went like absolutely viral on TikTok, on Bookstagram for her books. This one's a duology. She has another series. She has this series and another series, I think. This one's her duology. I met her at a book conference. She was very super nice. I don't know much about this book. I just have heard like nothing but good things about it. Like majority of these books, I feel like I've heard good things about all of these books, and that's why like I get them. But I'm super excited about this one. It's a adult fantasy romance, and I feel like this is the one where it gives vibes, like just the cover and stuff gives vibes of like Serpent and the Wings of Night. I have no idea if they're similar. I have no idea anything about them or about this one, but I can't wait to read it. I'm excited. It also is funny like seeing these because I made one of these lists for 2024, and looking back, I so made a mood read board out of my 24 books for 2024. So this year I tried to add in romance and fantasy and try not to be in the mood for, like, I try to do ones that I'll be in the mood for all year rather than ones I'm just in the mood for right now. If you could probably guess, I'm in a fantasy romance mood, clearly, but I think some of the new releases coming in will help me get at least more than half of this list down. If I could do this entire list, I will be happy. That is the goal, but let's be realistic here. If I can do over half of this list, I'll be happy. Next up, I have Twisted Dares. My fiance bought this for me for Christmas. It's a dark academia romance book. I don't remember if it's why I choose or not. I just know it's like really dark. and I think I got it recommended on TikTok. That's all I really know about it. And then the last book for my 25 books of 2025, I have City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. If you've been following my journey along, you know I'm in the middle of this series, of this universe. This is book 1 of the next series I have to read. I thought it would fit it was fitting to put on here because I know I'll be reading this series this year and how much I'm loving this universe. So it's kind of like a easy one, a shoo-in, just given that I will be reading this whole series this year. But that is my 25 books for 2025. If you have any in common with me, drop them down below. If you have any ones on your list that you're super excited for, drop them in the comments below. I'm so curious. I have been watching everyone's 25 books for 2025 because I am nosy and I just want to know what everyone else is reading this year. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.